Hey there! Are you looking for a well-rounded first-person shooter game that's a good deal of fun, and the developers actually care about it? Well, I was too. About a month ago. That's when I discovered BattleBit Remastered. Finally, I had a game that slowly seeped away all of my mental faculties. No more was I dealing with toxic players and developers that would rather make six figures than continue developing a game. So ask your doctor if BattleBit Remastered is right for you. Side effects may include headaches, a hate of drones, submachine guns, tummy aches, a tendency to yell manic if time you're hurt, vomiting, uncontrollable rage, and depression. Also, video is not sponsored by BattleBit Remastered. Now, not only will I show you my first-hand experience and first impressions of the game, I'm also here to give you tips and tricks on how to survive this really fun, low-poly, tactical shooter. For all you noobs, fools, and idiots out there, pay close attention, and I'll teach you how to be the best at BattleBit Remastered. From desolate desert landscapes to ye old Russian towns, I'll teach you how to beat their asses in the crusty, dusty sun. Or I'll teach you to die trying. But DefinitelyMe, what's the game actually like, you may be asking? Well, first, shut up! I'm getting to that. Second, this game is a first-person tactical shooter that takes elements from both arcade shooters and milsim games. With a varied amount of maps and game modes, the gameplay loop is always fresh and popping. Now, I'm not the most experienced in the war and the milsim genre of games. I've jumped around the Battlefield games, not being able to stick with one for like a month at a time, and I haven't played any true milsim games like Squad or Arma. But when I heard about BattleBit Remastered, I was intrigued. The low poly art style, giant maps, and giant player counts have always been a favorite of mine when it comes to video games. Also, I don't know if you know this, but BattleBit Remastered was developed by 3 people. 3 people! Do you know how many people developed the Call of Duty franchise? 3,000! Another reason I decided to play this game is the fact that I've been working on another video for a while, and I've been playing hours and hours on the end of a game that I'll try not to mention, that has been slowly sapping my sanity. So against my better judgment, I put the other games video on the back burner, and I bought BattleBit Remastered, and now here we are. Now, as soon as I booted up the game, I went to the firing range looking for a tutorial, because I knew if I just threw myself in the deep end, it'd be chaos, and I wouldn't know what the hell I'm doing. Now, the tutorial was bare bones as hell, but that's fine, the game's still in development, I understand. In the tutorial, I got accustomed to the magazine systems, the voice chat, etc. Now, we need to talk about voice chat for a bit, because this game uses voice chat in the best way possible. Proximity chat. I'm sure you know a bit about proximity chat, it seems like it's becoming more and more popular nowadays, but if you don't know how it works, you get closer to somebody, their mic gets louder, you get farther away, their mic gets quieter. You got it? Good. When I was finished with the tutorial, I went straight into the famed 254 player mode. In my first game, I joined halfway through, ran around a bit, leveled up, and then we lost before I knew it. In the following games, I started to get my bearings a bit. I saw people, I fired my gun, and I died. A lot. One of the best things about the proximity chat is if I needed help, I could just ask and somebody would help. The game's run on for a decent amount of time, not too little that you feel like you haven't done anything, but not too long that it gets boring. I kept playing and eventually I wound up on a map with a tunnel to one of the objectives. This area had 0 tactical gain, but me and like 30 other guys just kept running in, dying, with most of us screaming every single time we got knocked down. Here are a few gems from that debacle.
Ow!
Guys, I don't know why I still can't block grenades, but...
Oh, grenades!
Get the vehicle out! Get the vehicle out! We need the vehicle!
Help me out!
Can I get some assistance, please?
Lads, right here, guys.
Yo. What the f*** are you guys? Guys, we can't run in here. Stop Fortniting.
How many
We can't run into your spawn, you mother You're defending nothing.
guys?
Just keep rushing! Just keep pushing! Just keep pushing!
Pick me up, I don't want to die.
Knocked one, I knocked one.
Like, guys! Get this hell of your ass. Oh, grenades.
Bro,
What I noticed as part of getting better at the game is not only how well you shoot, but just where you are. In my first couple games, I found myself just running around, not seeing a soul. But as I progressed, I found myself in more advantageous positions out of habit. So if you're struggling, try thinking about more where you are rather than how you're playing. At the end of day 1, after playing half a dozen rounds or so of 254 player mode, I started to discover all the nuances to playing this game, because BattleBit Remastered is a very nice middle ground between classic arcade shooters and hardcore milsims. So maybe dying and respawning a lot like arcade shooters, but I'm also managing ammunition and combining magazines like milsims. On day 2, I was still loving it. The game still felt fresh, and there were still so many more opportunities to explore. Even when I played maps I've already played on already, there was still more to do. Also, I don't think proximity chat will ever get old.
Help me! Help! Help me! Help! Help me! Help me first! Help me! No!
Also on day 2, I played my first ever night map, which is a whole new take and experience to every map. You can put on night vision goggles, and you can take them on and off, but when you have them on, you can't use medium or large scopes, so even the combat changes a bit at nighttime. I will say, I'm not a huge fan. I feel like the true BattleBit Remastered experience is only at daytime. It was at this time I tried out the 32v32 game mode. It's fun because it's the same ingredients to BattleBit Remastered, but in a different style. It's good for XP grinding as the maps are smaller and the game is much faster. It seems like it's there for players that come from more arcade shooters that don't like the Milsim vibes of the other game modes. Although it's not a bad thing, it kind of leads towards my next point. In 32v32, the players are just much more sweaty, and they're always using the best weapons, and nobody really ever talks in proximity chat. It just feels like a less friendly environment than 127 versus 127. Maybe that's just me, but a good thing about the game is if I don't want to play 32v32, I don't have to. It was around day 3 that I started to switch up my classes and my playstyles. I was playing a lot of medic, but I found playing support with a light machine gun to be quite fun. I also tried out recon, which I wouldn't figure out its virtues until later, wink wink, nudge nudge. And I tried out engineer. I've seen a lot of content creators play engineer due to its anti-tank capabilities. I just find that to be engineer's only redeeming quality, and I don't think from a fun standpoint it stacks up to the other classes. If you want to play engineer for a viability pick, go ahead, but I just don't think it's for me. One thing that the 127v127 game mode does really well is its ability to have fun and somewhat large-scale fights for one objective inside of a round. For example, I was playing on a map called Basra, which has a cargo ship stuck in the center, but the cargo ship isn't what's important. On one side of the map there's a bunker that holds an objective inside of it. During the course of the match, the enemy held that objective, so me and 30 other guys decided to go storm that objective all at once.
I'm gonna push on 3. I'm gonna push on 3. 1, 2.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Push, 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 push.
After we took the objective, the enemy team did the same kind of push that we did, and we had to defend it. This played out for pretty much the rest of the match. But what's important is not only these moments fun and epic, but, well, you know, now that I think about it, that's exactly what it is. It shows the aspects of this game that are fun as hell. It was at this point in the course of me playing the game when I really found my groove. I knew my favorite weapons, my favorite classes, and I wasn't fumbling around like a big stupid idiot. It became more the experience of, well, the experience, rather than the experience of discovery. Instead of, oh, I didn't know you could put bombs on a drone and ram it into somebody, which, yes, it's a real thing. It's more of like, oh, how many kills can I get via drone bomb ramming? But this was really my favorite part of playing the game. I was no longer unsure of my surroundings or anything like that. I was just having fun. Okay, so in case you wanted to know, my favorite classes after playing for a while were Sniper, for peaceful reasons, and Medic. If I wanted a more active gameplay loop, I'd play Medic. The reason it's so much fun to play is you can use your medkit to get to maximum health before every engagement, so your survivability is just much higher. Last thought before I start to close out the show here. Through my experience, I've found Conquest and Domination to be like really, really boring. For me, it's just the same thing over and over again. Game modes like Frontline are loads of fun because they personally remind me of the Battlefield genre's game mode, Operations. So if you play BattleBit Remastered, give game modes that are not Conquest a shot, like the Affirmation Frontline, or maybe the Capture the Flag if you're feeling, quirky. Listen, I don't think Capture the Flag's bad, it's just really, really slow. Anyways, side tangent over. With all that said and all those hours of playing BattleBit lost, I really do enjoy the game. It's one of the first games that doesn't feel like I'm playing it because it's popular, or I'm playing it because my friends are playing it. To me, it's just a game that's fun to pick up, and after playing, you don't want to put it down. I feel like the problem with games nowadays is before the game comes out, the developers promise a lot, and then after it comes out, they just make their bank and then dip. But for BattleBit Remastered, unless you've been tracking it for years, there was nothing to expect. But then suddenly the game just came out and blew people out of the water. And because of the small developing team, they're always involved with the community. If you hop on the Discord, you'll see them talking with the community about their work any given day. There's a really good video by a YouTuber that goes by the name MoiDawgs, which goes into detail about the development of the game and the process the developers went into. I got a decent chunk of my information pertaining to the behind the scenes of BattleBit Remastered from this video. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. And yeah, I hope you learned a thing or two with me as you followed me from an idiot that doesn't know what he's doing to an idiot that doesn't know what he's doing, but with experience. If you like the video, share it with your friends. If you didn't like it, just share it with your enemies, and I'm gonna go back to, Deep Rock Galactic. Now go do the subscribe.